Good morning and welcome back to another episode on the Coin King channel. I am your host, Down to Crypto TA. Sorry for the confusion. I was running behind this morning. I just needed to make sure I gave myself enough time for the start of the stream, and then I realized it was a little bit too much time and price was moving down, so I didn't want us to really miss too much. It is a holiday. It is President's Day. It is Washington's birthday, and stock market will not be open today, nor the banks here in the US. So we're not going to keep this stream too long. Really going to just get into Bitcoin a little bit in here. So it's been really choppy without having, traditional markets open. You know how we've been, our moves have been very petty. Our price action has been more sideways range, at least while the markets are closed, and then we get sporadic with market open. So it's really hard for me to read some of the stuff that's happening in the charts in terms of, I've expressed I'm not an Elliottician or anything like that, but I can do some basic stuff in here. So I was looking at, well, let's start here first. All right. So we broke this one. Got our bounce off of that one, broke it. Got our bounce off of this one, broke it. This is one that was really minor. I didn't really expect for too much to happen around here. And you can see how we've been chopping this one. And that tells me how insignificant it is anyway. And this is our final leg right here. If we lose it, reclaiming it is going to be so important. And it's possible. It's possible. I mean, then we'd be looking at, I don't know how reliable I would be on the golden pocket at that point, as I think that we could do more if we drop the golden pocket. Personally, just double time this right here. I mean, you could always just use a fib extension right here. That would put us somewhere down here around 66. Right about this high right here. Not exactly, based on how I did that. Maybe you raise this up. I like to look at meat and potatoes, but that's basically what price action would put us. It's some confluence in this area right here. If I'm on CME, there's a little gap that sits in here. Not that, traditional Bitcoin exchanges line up with the price action of CME, but there is some relevancy to price action coming back down here towards that. Let me put on 786 and just see how far away that would be in this case. Okay, so we would be right in the mix of that 786. So this is a possibility right here. I did also post up another scenario for Bitcoin, which is a bigger move down potentially. And it just, it USDT dominance, the inverse of Bitcoin, just kind of comparing the two. Because I know we dropped back down to support on USDT dominance. Obviously, we hit resistance on Bitcoin, however you want to look at it. Whatever you want to use. If you want to use volume profile or simple support and resistance, or swing fail of the high of this high right here, you can use that as well. It's more than one way to skin a cat, that's for sure. But this lines up. Let's drop down to the CME chart, take a look at that a little bit in here. I think I marked something out in here on CME. Apparently I didn't. No, that's Blowfin. My bad, people. Here we go. Actually, this is up a little bit higher on CME. It's a very small, minor gap right there. And then this one right here I mean, we can just say that that got filled in. It's not that much left to that, if anything. I'd just say that that one was filled in. Just a lot of freaking chop, chop, chop suey in here. Um, but nonetheless, price may still choose to come back down to here. So I guess this would line up more so with like the golden pocket or something like that. But again, it's hard to compare the price action movement of CME and Bitcoin because they're both on different time scales. Um, yeah, both very different. But we can look back and forward at this over time to see where price action is relatable. All right. So back over here on the Bitcoin. This was a rising formation. Right through here. And you can say it's a symmetrical triangle. I use my Go scale on my 1 hour time frame to map it out. And I can see that it was a rising formation right here. And we were holding we have been holding support pretty well. If I You're gonna keep this in mind, okay? Just keep this part in mind right here also. Uh you're definitely still gonna look and see what sort of reaction we get if we drop down into here and then golden pocket and then here as well. I'm not in a rush to do anything. I already added to my long position. I've already, affected my entry level. And I shared that with you. I shared with you my entry level before, and now it has changed a little bit because I did add something into it. So I was long off of the weekly level here, which is 65,519. So I was long off of this level right here. And I added to the position and that raised my entry up. So if I get stopped out, then I just be in the trenches, trying to find a new entry on here in case the bullish scenario does play out. I mean, a lot can happen with the market being closed. So I sound like a Debbie Downer right now. This was the fib level. I just took off my little wonky, funky fib. I'm not fib, but Elliott wave theory stuff in here because it's not clear to me, and I don't want to spend a lot of time trying to guess. You saw where I posted this yesterday. Trying to figure out. I mean, obviously, we still had to do like 5 waves through here when I posted it. I think that this could have potentially been 5 waves down right here, and that would be A right here. We probably could be in the middle of B and then C to the downside. So the way I had it was that price action comes back up in here and it taps into the bottom side of, um, I don't know, you can call it a channel if you want to, but um, this rising structure through here, me assuming that it was a 4-5 and not an 8, not an A, B, and then C right through here. It just, I don't know, just a little bit too choppy through here. This part right here looked really clear. The rest of it did not. So, you know, it looked like this when I posted it. We ain't getting that. Well, actually, it looked like this was up here. I just said it right there. And I just said, I hope you can understand. I hope I'm making sense to you. At the end of the day, not looking to short this, honestly, just looking to long it because there's a bullish case coming off of that daily time frame. Trust and believe. Well, no, don't trust and believe. But from what I can tell, there is a bullish case coming off of that daily time frame. There just is a bullish case. In my opinion, for myself, there is a bullish case coming off of that daily time frame, and I want to catch it. I want to catch that. But right here, right here, you can see the rising wedge structure. It's right here. So we got this rising wedge right here. That's what we're trying to play against right now. This rising wedge, which tends to break down. So possible A, B, C, still in, still forming here. Completion of that, and then just have to figure out, like I said, the way I measured it out, that could end up being the low. It just messes up everything else I was looking at in here, possibly, unless we're starting a 1, 2, and then we're going up for a 3, 4, 5 through here. I'm honestly leaning on an $80,000+ price target. Nothing that changes the market structure on the higher time frame, but just something that gives us a nice reaction for what I feel is coming with that daily time frame. That's it. That's it. Nothing more than that. That's it. But yeah, this is a little bit of a rising structure in here, and I can see momentum did rise up in here a little bit more. But with markets closed, it's just so easy to screw with your head, man. So easy to screw with your head right now. Um, so yeah, I think you can see this on the RSI as well. I think you can. Yeah, you can see it right here on the RSI also. You see that rising structure right through here. We got a little bit of a bullish divvy in here off of that drop. But yeah, you can see that right here as well. So you don't need my indicator. A lot of times they will match up. So you can mark out this rising structure here. I mean, it's so clear. So clear. I don't have a reason to want to play around with this. So I'm actually looking for the king to get in. I did put him in off of the initial drop down here, but I had him close it out. And I'm just going to wait for things to look a little clearer in here for me. But yeah, you got that rising structure in here showing. You did have like this little rise in the momentum right through here. So this is where momentum, or you could say price action didn't, it's putting in these higher lows over here. But nonetheless, this is bearish. That's bearish. So be careful with that. Let me get that off of here. Just wait for it to be clear. That's what I would say about that. All right. This is the other thing that I just posted out there. So this channel that we're in right now for Bitcoin. So we are in a parallel channel right now. And I posted it. You can bookmark it, go back and look at it or whatever, and just kind of map your stuff out to, you don't have to do all of this inside pattern formation stuff right here, but just so you have a plan of where price action may be able to come back to or something like that. So in the event that possible that we could come back down and take out the liquidity from this low. So that's just the scenario that I'm putting out there. Maybe not come as low as tapping back into this bottom line right here, the bottom side of the channel, because it did rise up a little bit from right here to here. I mean, it did rise up just a little bit, so it didn't exactly on that third time tap the bottom side of the channel. So maybe, maybe it does something like this. What I do know that's clear to me though is that USDT dominance is in a bearish pattern. This is a bullish, a descending channel is a bullish formation. You're descending. So when you're descending, you're looking for a break to the upside. And we already know that institutional money they did accumulate. Like they bought heavy right here. I saw the numbers. I shared the numbers with you. They bought heavy right here. And this was the day that was on a Friday. It was on a Friday, just like this past Friday where we got the bounce too, because you got a lot of, um, there's a ton of puts in the market. But the puts are more so hedging as opposed to the longer term idea. They bought heavy right here, like heavy. So I just see a bullish narrative. How we get to it, I mean, it's just gonna be different. Sometimes you detour, sometimes they send you on a detour, but you still get to your destination. But this channel right here. It's clear. You can see it. You can see the channel. This is clear. This is a clear channel. This point to this point, then connect the high right here. That gave us our push up in here on our bear flag. Horizon structure through here that gave us a breakdown that sent us back down here towards the lower side of our channel. It's a clear channel. And if we're getting to the top, we're going to get somewhere in the 80s. We're going to get somewhere in the 80s. We're going to come into these lows in here. And we're going to get somewhere in the 80s. So that's my bull case. That's what I think. Now, I was looking at my scale too, because I said to you in here, we're still working on it as far as I can tell from this indicator right here, of course. And here I was saying to you, okay, RSI did get a positive cross in here. I noticed something yesterday because I said, sometimes my scale, my QTD will line up with the RSI. But in this case, it doesn't line up with the RSI. And it indicates that we haven't broken out yet. Like we're holding here in terms of the momentum here from the RSI. But when I look at this and this is going to get noisy. It's going to get pretty noisy actually. But I'm going to turn on the QTD right here. And I need your focus to be on this white line right here. My ghost line, which helps me see patterns sometimes that don't show up in here. So this is telling me you haven't broken up yet. You see where we had rejected from? Let me see if I can hide these patterns through here instead. And then you focus on the white line and these pink drawings I have around it. This is indicating, hey, you haven't broken out yet. Your momentum hasn't shifted in here just yet, but it's getting to a place where that momentum is going to shift right through here. Let me just hover over it a little bit so we can see that. So right through here, we're getting to a place where it is going to break that long line that's coming down, and then you can see the little wedgie structure through here. Down at the bottom right there. That looks like it wants to break up more than break down. It hasn't chosen a side just yet. So, I mean, if it does break down, it breaks down. I'm still going to look for price action to come back on this line right here. This is the one right here where I'm really looking for that break to happen. But I just actually paid attention to that yesterday. I used to be really good about mapping this thing out. But the RSI, a little different. It's a little different right now in timing. I put more weight on this just because it's on price action as opposed to an indicator that's not. So I know on this too, on the RSI, I think we're like yeah, we're gonna need to be getting above that resistance line right there too. This is gonna be important. And I think the other one was down below it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the other one is down below it. So that was that break right here that gave us this little sideways triangular pie formation right here. But this one, this one, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's a bullish narrative here. It really is a bullish narrative here. The squeeze hasn't played out yet. That's gonna break up. That's gonna break up. It's gonna break up the same way when we were waiting around in here on this squeeze. I told you this would break up. Didn't do it here. Doesn't do it all the time, but 8 out of 10 it does. And I could say 9 out of 10, but 8 out of 10 it does. So this never crossed the mean right here. 8 out of 10 it does break to the upside though. There's just a bullish narrative in here. I'm gonna show you USDT dominance in case you didn't see that tweet either. Um, so USDT dominance has an ascending broadening formation. It's a bearish formation. These tend to break down. I see these all the time in the chart. They're very common. Very, very, very common. Maybe because I'm always looking for them too. But I didn't pay attention to this either until yesterday. I've been slipping. So I really didn't pay attention to this until yesterday also. But the taps were so perfect. They were all so perfect, all three. Now, if this comes back up, like I told you, I will be looking for a rejection, and that may be in line with this box right here. Beforehand, I was just focusing on the horizontal levels, which is why this diagonal stuff I really didn't catch it. But this is a bearish pattern. I would be looking for price action to fall back down on this one. So this is the same thing. Like I say, 1, 2, 3, right? This is 1, this is 2. This is how we know we have a trend. This trend is to the downside because it's an ascending broadening formation. So it's to the downside. You get your third tap on your trend line. You reject if it's from the top. You bounce if it's from the low. This is the trend. The trend is down on USDT dominance. Price action is going up, but this formation here is a bearish formation. Then you got your 1, 2 here. So it's possible that it comes all the way back down here. It can bounce off of this, put in a partial bounce, and then break down. But bears is like, nah. Bulls are like, yes. And that's how this ascending broadening formation takes place in here. Somebody's thinking Bitcoin price is undervalued up here. Somebody's thinking Bitcoin's price is overvalued down here because it's the opposite. So you're taking your money, you're moving it to USDT dominance. But this is a bearish formation right here. I cover these all the time on the channel, and we always see them play out. Always. Only time I guess really not so good with it is I think it was Palantir. Yeah, Palantir. But these are everywhere. So again, maybe, Maybe it does. Maybe, possible. Maybe it comes back another time and just into this section right here. Maybe it does that and then it does like that. Maybe it short runs it like just back here into this line right here, which is the area that we had been talking about here on the channel. So just taking out this liquidity right here, pushing back into this center point here of this resistance level, and then getting the drop back down to there. And the reason why I'm just looking for that again is because it was a resistance area right here and right here. It was a resistance area. Like it might have been just lucky that time that it pushed through just to tap the rejection level. But this time, not so lucky. And it actually holds out what we were initially looking at before I realized, oh, okay, ascending Broadman formation is in here. But either way that goes, I think it pairs perfectly, with Bitcoin. Descending channel, bullish formation, ascending broadening top, bearish formation on USDT dominance. So maybe we take that. I get stopped out. Mm. Oh well. Do it again. Do it again. We were comparing I was telling you in here. Okay, that was just giving me a hard time. Let me see what's going on over here real quick. Maybe you can I could take this away for now. Uh you can always do your little pattern through here. I already got a third tap on it. Yeah, I already got a third tap on it. So I mean, looks very flat. Yeah, it looks pretty flat, but like I said, it's a rising wedge when we looked at it on that 1 hour chart. I knew we got bearish when I saw this. When we dropped down and we came back and we got a clean rejection off of that low. It's like, dang, there goes the idea. There goes the idea right there. What was I about to say to you? Yeah, right here. So we're just kind of comparing, like, I'm gonna take this away. Actually, I'm just gonna delete that on this. I'm gonna hide this too. That little channel. I'm gonna hide this for now. All right, so we're comparing this right here to oh, never mind. We need to break this into these two frames. And And just ignore the price notes. Put this on a 1. Well, I can hide them. Just trying to do less. All right, so we were comparing the two charts in here. I'm gonna flip this over to another chart, but we were comparing this just to some other, right here. I'm sorry, altcoins. I'm like, well, maybe Bitcoin is just, come on, lagging behind a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, like that. So maybe Bitcoin is just lagging behind just a little bit. All right, so it's like I know that there's more charts that have that same structure that did a lot better. Sol was one of them. So Solana's another one. They all took out that high. Bare minimum. They all took out that high. So this is Sol's right here. Boom, boom. They all took out that high. While Bitcoin has that lower high right there. I have to do this right here, right now. And Bitcoin right now is like that. It's getting tighter. But that's so did way better than this. Are we just behind over here? That's my thing. Are we just behind over here? And then you got Hype didn't have it. I know we compared it to Virtual, which did way better, went way higher. Not only did it take out this high, it came back and took out this high. Is Bitcoin just behind? Because I wholeheartedly see us going up to around 80 plus. I wholeheartedly see us going up there, retesting the lows at least. I don't know who else kind of looked like this. So far, I know Solana looked like this, and I know Virtual looked like this. Ethereum might have looked like this, but Ethereum is struggling a bit. Ethereum's in the same boat as Bitcoin, but worse. Like you can see right here for Ethereum. I'm like, please don't let us be following this. Please don't. Don't want to be following. I'm going to raise this up so we can get a better view on it. So, yeah, something like this. Just ignore this part right here. In fact, let's just take that away. This is what Bitcoin is looking like, but Ethereum's looking a little worse with a little bear flaggy situation taking place in here, and it's already broken down below this ascending line over here. So I don't know what's going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Not really. I know Ethereum was close to its resistance level, though. Obviously, we talked about that resistance level for Ethereum. So I don't even think I like this. It's hindsight now. It's done anyway. Let's see. Let's see BNB. A little bit more structured in here, I guess. Or did this look like straight garbage? Yeah, BNB. The big ones, I don't know. Just with the exception of Solana. Probably because of meme coins with Solana. Let me see. This. Another one. Another one. Ada. Had no problems with it. Had no problems with it. And Bitcoin. That looks just like Biddy at that moment, right in there. But it prevailed. It prevailed. No problems. We know height wasn't the same. Oh yeah, I told you I had to recheck on this pattern this setup right here because charts were looking a little bit different in here. Told you that yesterday when I streamed, so I didn't want you to trust in this one right here. Let me see what we had happening here anyway while I'm over here on it. All right, golden pocket. That's what we had happen, gal. Gal. Looks like this literally broke down right there. Maybe you can get it back into this 786 unless it's trying to hold this golden pocket. So if you're wanting to do this right here, I don't know. I'm going to set it like that though. I'll set it in here on this. Imagine bouncing from here twice. So you had this little rising structure in here. So a breakdown was coming and, rejecting off of the channel in here on hype. Rejecting off of the channel. I did say pay yourself when you got in here. I did say that on X to pay yourself. Got that. Let me see what Sui did. If it did anything similar. Sure enough, it did. Got Sui in here. They're all looking like this. Just Bitcoin ain't Bitcoining. God, yeah. Actually, it is. It is Bitcoining. It's doing a little bit of something. Let me take that away because uh-oh. But you can see it. I'm just trying to make sure you can see it. That's all. So you see us right through there. Yeah, this is a little bit more like that though. Yeah. So took out that high. That's what I wanted to see. Because they're all taking out that high. And I think Bitcoin takes out that high and does more. But they're all taking out that high. So it's a lot of charts in here that look like this. I haven't checked Bitcoin dominance. They just all look the same. They're just performing better than Bitcoin right now. Which is not a problem because, apparently we've all had a lot to, Ave. Hmm. I wonder why I only put 2 levels in here. That's a good question. Why only put 2 levels? I might come back and look at this one right here and post up on it, something like that. But that's just what I wanted to share again. Change this one back to Bitcoin. Looks like somebody's trying to turn this into an ascending triangle. I don't know. I don't know about that, but I just know I don't touch it until it's obvious. It has to be obvious. That's just this little part right here. You're gonna have some resistance too, right about the low right here. So right here, you are gonna face some resistance. Come here. You're gonna face some resistance. Let me turn this back on. You face some resistance right here. If you can push up into that, you're gonna face some resistance. I think what I was looking at right there was not just this part. Hold on. Ugh. So you got your 200 EMA right there. That's one. And you got, let me just see something right here. I just wanted to see. And you got a 200 right here as well. A 2 and a 1 right here. So you're going to face some resistance in here. Even if you manage to push up right here, you're going to face some resistance. Now, this is usually indicative. Just looking at these ribbons right here, it's indicative of a squeeze, which we know volatility is low right through here. That's why we're going sideways in this corrective structure. It's going to be an explosive move in one of these directions. I would like to tell you that's going to be up, but yeah, you can see the squeeze through here. So the volatility squeeze is through here. I mean, if this is true, I don't know. I'm stuck on a move down, but if I'm looking at it in this regards, like this being the high, maybe not. But when that breakout move comes, like I said, could be like that. 1, 2, 3. We're in the middle of the second with this correction. Impulsive, corrective, impulsive. It's my idea. I don't care. It's my idea. We went over that. And I'm going to turn this off. Like how it's just slightly going sideways through it. I hate this. I hate it so much. Turn that off. Either way, coming days, we're going to get up here. That's all to it. In coming days, we're going to get up here. Let's see this chart over here. This tells me we're waiting on an explosive move right here too. How do we know that? Because we're inside of this candle right here. We're inside. Let me change this to a base. We're inside right here. Can turn these other ones off. We're inside, which means we're waiting on an explosive move to take place. This tells me 80 something thousand right here as well. Like this comes up, sweeps the liquidity off of the top side of this candle. That's the hope for me, is that we take the liquidity off of the top side of this candle right here. So we don't change structure at all on this weekly time frame. We know that. We wouldn't change structure until we got above this high. So I'm not looking for a change of structure on the larger time frame and through here, but that this is going to give us a move up. And the crazy thing is, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an Elliottician, but I hear people, and I don't think that they're an Elliottician either. Like you can call yourself what you want to call yourself. At least I'm real saying I'm not. I have some sense of something. If we just did 5 ways over here, what are we doing right now? We're looking for an ABC correction. This looks like 5. This looks like A. This looks like A. B is going to come in, and then we drop back down for our C. That's just me taking a wild guess. But that's the I mean that's the that makes sense, right? Yeah, it makes sense to me. If we finished out 5 waves over here, and we're looking for an ABC. A is going to typically have like 5 waves. B is going to be 3, and then C is going to be 5. This looks like it was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks like A. We come back up. We'll look choppy on this time frame right here. Something like that. Until we see another break, which that cancels out everything I said before. If that's the case, unless this was a ABC. It looks 5 wavy though. Yeah, it looks 5 wavy to me. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to draw out like that. You can just fib extension this. Unless this is a ABC. I think that's like a 786 right there, but that's what we would be looking for. I think that is like a 786 right there, though. Yeah, that's like a 786. I'm just looking to add my other one right through here. But anyway, let's take that off. That would be the 1-to-1 right there. What would break this channel though, which I don't really like the idea of that. Um, but that's because I have it in here, reflecting as a channel, instead of I think if I did the line, it would be higher anyway. I think it would be higher. No, we don't have, but this and this low. And then I'm going to take the channel away for a sec. So there we make more sense in terms of your momentum line. There we make more sense. Um, and um, and then last but not least, it's going to be this one right here, down through here, which you can see how everything ties together over time. Over time. Um, and this is that same channel that I'm looking at. That one that's right through here. Looks a little different from right through here, but nonetheless, this is that channel right here. And it looks a little different because I drew it off of the lows for starters and not off of the highs. So I just paralleled this to this. That's why it looks different. So let me do this modification, set it on that just a little bit. And there we have that right there. Yep. This would line up with what I posted on X, like just in case we just fell through here and we have to drop back down towards here or something. And we'd be doing what everybody had been wanting or waiting for it to happen that just wasn't happening. And again, it's an alternative plan. If you see things going south, that's the alternative plan right there. But if we go north, we're getting into 80 something thousand. And we don't change the structure through here. I mean, we'll still be putting in, lower highs, and everybody who say we're going to 40, there you go. You get more than what you asked for. Crazy. And stuff will make you think. It will make you think. This is going to start building up pressure, which is what we're doing. We're building pressure inside here, this inside range right here. Let's just keep her going. Let's take a look over here. I mean, like I said, like you can count 5 waves through here. So we're doing the ABC. We get a bounce. We get a bounce. You don't see it in here. Like not on this monthly time frame. You don't see it. Not how you could see it right here. I'm not counting this one little red candle in the center right here from the bear flag. That's not going to do. I'm talking about green candles where I can see it. Like right here, like, and I have to continue with that disclaimer. I'm not an Elliottician, all right, by any means necessary. You can see 3 waves down right through here. Whatever you want to call it. You want to say it was 5. I don't know. It wouldn't make sense to me. But if you want to do that, you can say you had an ending diagonal right here. But we definitely put in 5 up. This is a shorter wave right here. So we definitely put in 5 waves up over here. So then you would be looking for an ABC correction through here. ABC, you just continue in the direction of the trend afterwards with the 5 moves up. So actually, let me just use this right here instead. No, I'm sounding crazy. I'm just going to go off of the low. I just prefer the low. Let me see. Where's this high? Just want to do that. Rise, drop, rise, drop, rise, drop. And then, hello, you get an extra one. And then you get an extra one. One, 3, 5. 5. Maybe. Unless you're calling this some sort of an A, B, C. And and then what? This reverses because of that rainbow chart. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 1, 3, 5, and then another 5 right here. Just taking into account the bear divs, which typically happens between a 4 and 5. You get bearish divergence between a 4 and 5. You got divergence there, and you got divergence here. People always treat divergence like it's just the depth of things. No, it's the start of something great. It's the end of a season and the start of a new one. I don't see anything over here. I just see straight down. That's all I see right there, straight down. I don't really like to call a pivot until I have 2 candles in the same direction. So for me, without those 2 candles in the same direction, yeah, don't mess me up like that. Without those 2 candles in the same direction, that's 1, 2, 3. This one. And by gosh, I am going to get that other move in here. And then we'll do whatever we're going to do in here, whether you think it's this, which, will be a flat, I suppose, or we're thinking a zigzag or whatever. You think we're coming down into here to this $40,000 level or somewhere in here, because every time we drop in somewhere around about the 786.886. Eh, maybe. Maybe. That's all I got. And this, of course, would be the worst of the worst. You know, this isn't something I think that Bitcoin would do. I'm just using this in relation to that rainbow chart that I really am disgusted with because rainbows are rounding tops, and rounding tops are bearish. So that's the whole purpose of this right here. There's some bad stuff that had to happen to even, yeah. But it's not. It's nothing. It's just me, you know, being counter to that rainbow chart, or actually going along with that rainbow chart. I don't know how anybody looks at that rainbow chart and doesn't get nervous. That rainbow chart makes me nervous as crap. First red candle, and trust me, this is green. First red candle since 2011. And you can do this however you want to do it. You ain't even got to do it like I did it. That's me just giving it some. That's that. That was me just trying to give it a little bit more room. That is your first red candle out of a rising formation, out of this rainbow garbage, rounding top. This was just a measured move. Is this, I mean, you know, I said, like, is this Sailor? Is the problem here Sailor? I don't know. The problem here could be a lot of things. It could be strategy, it could be Trump, it can be inflation, it could be war, it could be the greatest depression of our lives. It's theoretical. It's not, and there's nothing else to here. Yeah, there's no other way of identifying this as anything different. Yeah, there's no way. The only other line probably would have been through here to here, which that, I mean, that's just nothing else to dish other than to see the rising wedge break down. Not fear mongering either. But something is definitely happening in here. I'm not fear mongering, unless you do something like can do this. This was our low that we had just mapped out anyway on the other chart, so we could do that. I think we'd already done this through here, which would say we're at support, maybe slightly below it. Got that. Maybe let's go line bias right here. Let's do it like that. There's a lot of ways to play around with that and look at it. I don't want to ignore it, but not weighing it heavily. It's just something there to talk about. See what our Bitcoin is doing over here. My chart lagging. Oh, let me get rid of that. I mean, we know if we keep hammering at the same area that we'll break it, but it doesn't. It can swing fail still. It can swing fail. And we want to see volume. We get it. Okay. Bitcoin like, let's do it now. Let's do it now. Okay. That's cute. That's cute. I think we just tapped that level that I mentioned to you, where you're gonna hit some resistance. Looks like we just tapped that with a very small reaction. Let's see, because we don't have volume, at least not on that 1 hour time frame. But if I look right here, see how we do. We just tapped it. Yep. Let's see if we have volume on this time frame right here, though. Since I know we don't have it on on that 1 hour. Got a little bit of volume over here on the 15-minute. A little bit. I mean, it's not, I mean, it's more than what it was before. But I know we don't have it here. And you don't see it here. And this is the level that we highlighted. Coin King gonna kill me. He gonna be like, you made me close out the position. He don't take it serious anyway. Could this be where we get to? Let's see. I'm gonna jump over here on this chart right here. We'll do it just for the sake of it. I might short it. I'm not going to short this level right here though, because I expected for some resistance to be right here. So I'm not going to short that. I'd be more inclined to short if we popped into here. And that decision was only going to be based on volume because at the end of the day, I do still think we get to 80 something thousand. I'm going to stop hollering about that 80 something thousand. I don't like that traditional market is closed. It's enough of an expansion. Mm, it's enough. If we look at that, if it doesn't come back in, I mean, a back test on the breakout level right here will line up with the standard one, um, which would keep it in the pocket. And then another attempt, we might see a spread. It did start out with a spread right there. And we see the impulsive, or the larger candle with the larger volume. So some volume was there. I would not be buying that though. I would not be longing that for anybody that, it's not a long, in my opinion. Even if you gotta wait for subtlety, I mean, settlement, that's just not it. But that's just really on you if you choose to. Um, you can manage your risk better if price comes back into here and you want to attempt a back test long if you weren't already long, but to chase behind that candle, I don't suggest you do that. Just stop in this case would be, let's just say you chase this. Let's just say you chase this. Let's just say you buying it in right here. And that sometimes when you just slap this on here, that's pretty good. Stop would have to be something like this, or maybe below the 20 SMA. I don't like a breakout and then come back in, and then and then what? Like then what? You think we go to 80 something thousand from here? I wouldn't do that. That's like a 0.58 though. It's a small risk, but I wouldn't chase that candle. Drop that one now because we did that. Still holding outside of standard 2. Oh man, he gonna kill me. It might expand. Might expand harder. We'll see. Or if we're just gonna hit that trend line. Mm-hmm. All right, got a little bit more volume coming in on that 1 hour now. Interesting. So somebody's seen that break up out of this triangle and said, I'm gonna long this. Or maybe short it because a volume doesn't really tell you too much other than it's more activity in this candle. We're gonna have typically Monday it'd be like a false move Monday, but since traditional markets are closed, I wouldn't count it as that. I just count it as a low liquidity part of the weekend, and we'll see what happens on Tuesday. There he goes. Thank you. I'm gonna drop to a lower time frame, see what we're doing right in here. Four-hour RSI flips back positive above 56.15. I mean, it's already pivoted to the top side, and it did hold ground from the signal. Like it's not, it never fell below the macro signal. Mm. Now on this inside range right here, like I personally, like I said, I wouldn't chase this. If it can come back and back test in here, I think that'd be great. It is trying to flag out a little bit in here. It is an inside bar. This is the first inside candle right here. So if you just didn't focus on the triangle per se, you would just be looking for price action to sorry, not break below that low right there. Oh, it's expanding. Or at least it's trying to expand a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more off on that. A little bit more off on that. It's just going to be 56.20 now on the 4 hour. And then it would still need to have like 3 hours on that 4. Yeah, I think it's clear. I just wouldn't chase it. All right, so got that break out of that little triangle there for continuation. It did not even come back inside of standard deviation 2. So you're still outside of standard deviation 2, which means there's no need of fading the push up right now. As long as you're outside of 1, I would say, and you're outside of 2 still. So you're still expanding a bit through here. Still expanding on this move up. So you wouldn't be looking for a back test now. I just don't see it as something to chase. Either you were already in or you weren't. And in terms of finding a position to get in, I didn't consider it. I didn't consider it. Doesn't hurt to wait though. This might just be that other part of And that looks nice. Fair value gap. I know you're above your 200 on the 15 minute. And you still get a rejection before we proceed. Oh boy. 2 minutes. See how we shape up. And here I said I wasn't going to stay too long. I'm still here. Still here. I'm assuming virtual said no to that low as well as that other one. I mean, it must have just continued that bounce off of that golden pocket. Yeah, it did. Just continue that bounce off of that golden pocket. Was it from here that I drew that? Or was it from somewhere else that I drew that? I must have drew it from elsewhere. I think where else I could have drawn it from. Nah, that wasn't it. I drew it from somewhere else though. I was, yeah, I don't know, can't remember. It's weird. I know it wasn't this. I know it wasn't that. Couldn't have been that. It's weird because I don't know what I did now. Oh, it was hyperliquid. I'm sorry. Hyperliquid continued to bounce off of the golden pocket. Still gonna come back into this channel. Be looking for it to break. So I guess this right here. I had us trying to spare this low. All right, so we got that 1 hour close. I'm just trying to see if we're going to proceed through here, if we're going to get the pullback right in here before we hit the top side of that trend line there. According to the RSI, we could be at some resistance. For our RSI. All green on the 15 minute. This is set a little different over here. In this case, you would not look for a back test here now. You would look for a back test here now, uh, instead of in here. If the rejection holds right here, which I already know this is wrong in terms of an Elliott is wrong. Technically, it can still be right, but in terms of an Elliott, I know it's wrong. You don't have to fade it right now, though. 15 minutes still outside of standard deviation, too. Divergence on volatility, bearish divergence on volatility, not a major thing. And that's just really well, it's both 15 and 1 hour, but we're trying to flip that 4 hour.
It's on blowfin.
Oh, okay. Thank you. You're a little late, but okay.
Oh,
I know. I was just saying, so he gonna be mad at me because I told him to close out his. Okay,
well,
I got.
let's longer than 90,000.
What?
How do you transfer that?
What is it? Hold on. What is it in? Okay, it's in Tether. Okay, let's go to. Change your stuff in here. Isolate it. And change. Setting here.
Is there news at 8:30 today?
I don't think so. Change that to edge. Okay. Let's change your leverage.
Is there 1,000x?
Sir, if you don't go sit down somewhere.
I want 1,000x.
Yeah. I'm sure you do want 1,000x. Okay, so we got that change. I'm just waiting on the. This is on E. I want to take this off of E. So I'm going to do Ethereum. I'm going to do Bitcoin. So now I got to change this for BTC. Change that. Okay, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it to log in over here for you.
Okay.
All right.
Put like Firefox.
Here, you want to write it down for me? Don't say any. I got the mic back on.
It's
Here. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
use like Firefox so it doesn't interrupt your windows.
Okay. Thank you. You can drop this line a little bit instead of how I have it. It's not like the body. Let me see what difference this makes if that's lining up. Yeah, it does actually. I mean, it still looks decent on the 1 hour. It does still look decent here. So, um, I don't really see a lot of volume back in this right now. It still looks decent on the 1 hour. You're still outside of one, two right now on the 15-minute time frame. It still looks decent on the 15-minute as well. Just momentary resistance, just like it was momentary in here. Still looks decent. Uh, Still got a whole less than 3 hours on the 4 hour confirmation, but even 4 hours starting to look good. Once again, just a little correction. Just a little correction. You can add a different trend through here too, since we didn't come into this one, which I ain't mad at it. All right, so the stream has quieted down quite a bit, which means I am going to go ahead and just do my own thing from here. I gave you the gist of what I'm looking for, where I think price action can get to, the road we take to get there. I cannot determine and just have a strong conviction that we will get there. So with that said, I appreciate you joining me today. I am Down to Crypto TA. This is the Coin Kings channel, and I am just a host, or the host with the most on his channel right here. And you can also follow me on X at Down to Crypto TA. You can also follow the Coin King, and that's spelled with a DA in between that. Well, outside of that, the DA, Coin King on X as well. I will see you tomorrow when markets reopen. Love you and peace.